There's a charm to nighttime. The very air feels different, but it's not just because the sun's gone away and taken light and warmth with it. Places change when cast in darkness, when everybody's gone home. There's a solitude and serenity you can only find when walking empty streets in the earliest hours of the morning, when the city at large is in bed and you are the only living thing within this area that, in a few hours, will become a bustling hub as people wake and go about their daily lives beneath the sun. But for the ones who wander about these early or late hours, there's an energy, a life, you can't find elsewhere. This energy attracts the young protagonist of Call of the Night, Ko Yamori. Sometime after finding that school isn't worth bothering about, he stops going and finds that the night calls to him. It's easy to see why this would be the case. After all, the day is drab, and the show demonstrates this by washing the very color from the daylight. Walking about during normal waking hours, that's so dull, so gray. But at night, the city comes alive, awash in vibrant yellows and lush purples that make the day, for all its brightness, pale in contrast. It's easy to see why this despondent middle schooler would be attracted to the night's charms, and it's in the night we and Ko meet Nazuna Nanakusa, the eclectic vampire who promises to turn Ko's life upside down. Nazuna is the embodiment of night, but not in a manner that makes her a monster. Sure, she might fly and feast on Ko's blood, but to be a being of the night in this anime isn't to make one a villain. Rather, it means to be free. Ko is hardly the first person Nazuna has encountered who doesn't sleep, and she has a theory. Those who can't sleep at night are the ones dissatisfied with how they spent their day, and a longing for satisfaction is what keeps them up. But Nazuna is the one who walks the night freely, who has no trouble indulging in her desires. Ko, on the other hand, is quite dissatisfied. He has no interest in girls, or his classmates, or his studies, which is why he stopped going to school. But meeting Nazuna gives Ko something he wants, something to strive for. The freedom of night, igniting a new dream, to become a vampire like Nazuna, which he views as the solution to the drudgery of his day-to-day life. It's not so simple as just having Nazuna drink his blood, however. Ko learns that, in order to become a vampire, he has to fall in love with Nazuna first, and then have her drink his blood. Going into Call of the Night, I had a limited understanding of the story picked up from buzz on social media. I thought it was to be the tale of a boy seducing a vampire to be transformed himself, which wasn't far from the mark. What I didn't expect was the emotional complexity that would come from Ko's character. At the start of the story, Ko is a bit depressed, and perhaps even a little aromantic. The incident that pushed him into leaving school entirely was a classmate confessing her love to him, which Ko rejected not out of cruelty, but simple confusion. He just didn't understand the appeal of dating. Trying to fall in love with Nazuna is an exploration into emotions Ko has yet to understand or even feel, and it's a messy affair as he chases her into the night. This mess of emotions lies at the heart of the story's charm. Ko is stumbling through the night to make sense of his life, of what it means to have friends and be in any sort of relationship, platonic or otherwise. It's about Ko searching for the satisfaction he's not found at school or with his classmates, but might find here in the freedom of night, away from the prying eyes of teachers and parents who might want to put him into defined boxes. A couple of episodes into the anime, Ko reunites with one of his classmates, Akira, during one of his midnight meanderings. Through Akira's eyes, we can also see how different the world and Ko are at night. She knows Ko as he was in the day, and is indeed the only character introduced thus far, 5 episodes at the time of this writing, who spends any significant time in normal hours. Akira shows us how becoming a part of the night has lifted Ko's spirits, how it's changing him and allowing him to make meaningful connections Ko sought but never quite found at school. Akira is also closer to Ko's mindset than it might appear at first glance. In her introduction, she seems to be a far greater student and member of society than Ko. She's going to school, after all, not bumping about the night with a vampire. She prepares for her day so early she encounters Ko on one of his wanderings at 4 in the morning. But she shares that disconnect, the lack of joy in the daytime. Like Ko, Akira isn't interested in school or her family or her classmates, but she goes because, well, she must. What else would she do? At its heart, Call of the Night is a story about longing. Our human characters are missing something in their lives, something that leaches the color away, but they might find that missing piece in these dark nights and early mornings. Ko says he wants to fall in love with Nazuna, that he wants to be a vampire, but this is all just masquerading his desire for meaning and color in his daily life. The night is more than a part of the day, but a time of freedom, a time where inhibitions can be let go of, and Ko can find joy and companionship and understanding in a time when he can just be himself. There's an electricity in the air, only present at night, and Call of the Night captures both that energy and the desperate yearning of youth beautifully.